Hello everyone, Johnny Mine here, and today we continue to learn Japanese while playing The Legend of Zelda. But before doing that, we'll start by reading the message Link is holding at the end of the item screen. The one that shows up after the story when you wait on the title screen, as we didn't have the time to read it last time. It says, Kuwashii koto wa hono mite kudasai. Kuwashii is an adjective, which means detailed. Koto is a noun that means fact, matter, thing, as in only when it refers to, as I said, a fact, a matter, not an object, because there's a different word for that. And then, of course, our usual topic particle, ha, read as wa. And so, as for the detailed matter, hon, we have a kanji, read as hon in this case, o, or wo sometimes, but more often than not, it's read as o, the object particle. So, the book, and then we have the verb miru, look at, watch. We drop the ru and add the te to have the te form, because it's a ru verb or ichidan, and so luckily in that case the te form is easy to make, as you simply add, remove the ru and add the te. And we need it in this case because we then add, written in this case with the kanji, we add kudasai, which is the form te kudasai, is the polite imperative, and so please look at the book. As for the detailed things, we say, as for the details, we would say in English, please look at the book. Most likely, for the book, it means the instruction booklet. Of course, we can't do that since we are playing on NSO. But what I wanted to start here, because before continuing the game, I wanted to read and translate this sentence, and also since we see here two kanji, and in this case, unlike the one in the title screen for Densetsu, which are more complex, these are some basic ones, and so I'd say we can check them out so that we can learn them And then, of course, we'll go back to the game itself. Okay. Let's... okay. Let's start with the one for book. Actually, before seeing this one, we see another kanji, which is the base for this one. This is the kanji for tree, wood as in the material. And yes, as you can already see with the animation, you start here, left to right, top to bottom slanted, and top to bottom slanted, of course. First we write the one on the left and then the one on the right. Left to right, top to bottom slanted, and top to bottom slanted. As you can see also here with the arrows. This is the kanji for tree, as we have said. You can also see here the original forms of the pictogram. This is clearly a pictogram. It was literally a depiction of a tree with its branches on top and its roots on the bottom. Also quite similar, also even in its modern form. And this time, since these are simple kanji, we'll actually study at least some of its pronunciation, so you can start using it. Its most fundamental, as you can see here in the reading section, they are divided by categories. The ones that interest us are Gon, Kanon, and Kun. The Nanori one are readings exclusive to names, and so they don't matter for learning to read the kanji when you find it usually. We can divide it, these readings, in other two major categories. Gon and Kanon are both onyomi, that is literally sound readings, because they're the ones taken from Chinese. Gon is the older one. Kanon is slightly more recent. And then we have Kun. Also, you will hear it as Kunyomi more often. And these are the strictly Japanese readings. And so, in this case, we have ki. As you can see also if I open with the dictionary to see the accent, which we get the word ki accented, and it's the word for tree. Then there's also ko, but that's for compounds. Never mind it for now. And then we have Moku and Boku. The most common one is moku, also because you'll find it in the Japanese name for Thursday, mokuyobi. Literally, the word, the day of the week of the wood. But also, as I think we can find also, let's see if it shows also here. No, let's go here. Because it's actually also used for the planet Jupiter by adding it before the word for star. We'll see that eventually. And this is a rule. More often than not, there are some exceptions. When reading starts with M in Gon, then it becomes B in Kanon. So in this case, Moku becomes Boku. Okay, we can now go back and actually see the kanji we have found in our writing. Hon. As you can see, we first write our kanji for ki, and then add a stroke at the end. So first left to right, top to bottom bottom slanted, top to bottom slanted, and left to right. Left to right, top to bottom slanted, top to bottom slanted, left to right. And yes, we simply add that stroke on the bottom to have an ideogram, because the additional stroke highlights the roots. It's even more clearer in the historical forms of the character. But yes, and with that, we get the word, we get a word that in its kunyomi, its strictly Japanese reading, means, and it's pronounced moto, accented on the first one. Don't mind this one, but we find it, well, we should find it if we highlight, yes, with this moto accented on the first one, and yes, it means origin, source, beginning. It can also be written with other kanji. Basis, base, foundation, root. And so it comes from root, but then becomes actually the meaning is basis, foundation, origin. You might have already heard the word moto in, for example, in Miyamoto-san's surname. The moto part is this one. We eventually see also the Miya. And then we have the onyomi, which is the same for Gon and Kanon. Hon And in that case, the fundamental meaning is book. This is the most basic word for a book. Then there are other ones, but when you want to use it on its own, it's usually this one. Hon, as we have seen also in our writing. Okay. Then we can see the word for the kudasai. But as we'll see, and I'm also searching it here to copy it in our dictionary. It's also, and its fundamental meaning, the kanji for bottom, below, under is written this way, as you can also see with the animation. Left to right, top to bottom, and then this big comma. Left to right, top to bottom, the big comma. Or another left to right stroke, if you prefer. As you can see also here with the arrows. And this is also an ideogram. It was even clearer in its historical forms, because there's a bigger line and then a smaller line below it. And yes, so the smaller line which points to something, as we have seen also with the previous kanji, points below the bigger line. Let's see now some of its readings. Of course, there are all the Chinese pronunciations here. Okay, we have important one is and the one you see when you find the kanji on its own more often than not is sta unaccented, as that's the word for below, down, under, and so on. Then there's also shimo in certain compounds, but never mind it for now. Then we have some verbs. Sagaru, accented, so on the second to last one, because it's a verb. To come down, to go down, and so on. Sageru, to lower, to bring down. So the first one is intransitive and the second one is transitive. That is, the first one doesn't go with an object, while the second one does, requires an object. And then, let's ignore the other ones for now. We have the one that we saw in our writing. Kudasaru, accented, is an honorific verb, which means to give. And also, as it shows in the second meaning here, it also means to kindly do for one, in the sense that when we find the te kudasaru combination, as we have seen, when we have the verbs of give after te, they mean making a favor, making the favor of doing that action for somebody else. Then we change it because it's a peculiar verb. We drop the ru and add e. It's an exception. Usually it's not that way. To have this special form, which is the imperative, the polite imperative. And so, please, literally was, please do the favor of seeing, looking at the book in our writing. Okay. Now, to finish it and finally go back to our game, finally start for today. Sorry, I have to scroll. Okay. Let's see the opposite word. And so, see, okay. The one for above, up. Let's see, okay. As you can see from the historical forms of the character, again we have a longer line, and in this case, a shorter one above it. Now in our modern form, it's become slightly more complex. Again, as we can see also with the animation, you start at the top to bottom, left to right for the shorter one, and then left to right for the longer one. Top to bottom, left to right, left to right. As you can see, also here with the arrows. This is the kanji for above, up, and so on. And so we see some of its pronunciation. Oops, forgot to mention the, let's go back to the previous one, the one for below. As we have, I didn't mention the onyomi. Okay, sorry. The onyomi are ge, can be found sometimes, but not as often as the other one. You might have heard it, for example, in Genin in Naruto. And then the more common one, the more common onyomi, ka. Let's go back. In this case, the onyomi, the one you'll usually hear is jo. And then we technically have a lot of kunyomi, but we'll see only some. Ue, the most important one, also an accented, above, over, up, and then also top, summit, and so on. Kami in some compounds. Let's see if we can see its accent, but it should be... No, actually, kami, accented on the first one, but more often than not, you find it in compounds, so that then it changes. And the most important, some of the verbs that can be written with it are ageru, unaccented, literally to raise, to elevate, but also used as one verb for, let's see if where it shows it. There are actually a lot of meanings technically. Yes, it's the fifth one here. To give, it's another verb of giving. How do you use these different verbs of giving? It depends on who's speaking, who is the one giving, to whom, but we'll see that more in detail. This one, ageru, is one of the most common ones, so keep it in mind, it's quite important. Then we have also the intransitive form, agaru, to rise, to go up, and so on. The other one, we'll see other ones when they come up at a later time. Okay, with that we have seen some more basic, we have seen the writing and then the kanji related to it. So we can now go back here and finally start the game. Okay. Let's see if we can access our save file this way. If not, I have the yes, the famous 10, which is most. I'm pretty sure it's the number of times I've died last time. But okay, let's continue. Okay, and we're back. As I mentioned last time, we couldn't find the access to level 2, the second dungeon. And so I checked it in between streams. But funnily enough, I actually did remember where it was. The only issue is that I kept going around it. So this time let's go in that direction, but actually go inside the dungeon. Well, of course it wasn't for nothing, as we got more rupees, bought the arrows thanks to that. Got the letter for the old woman, for the Oba-san. Speaking of, we have seen Oba-san, which is the word for grandmother, but also old woman. The word for grandfather and also old man is Oji-san, as we most certainly see at some point. Of course, I immediately die. I mean, we did make some progress there, but let's go the other way, which is most likely safer. And also, maybe this way I can avoid skipping the dungeon all the time. Maybe it's easier by going this way to find it. We have to find a section with these woods. And then goes to the left. Of course, at the right moment, because otherwise we won't find it. Boy. We're about to die again. Oh. Barely avoided. Unfortunately, nobody's dropping. Okay, we found a fairy fountain, luckily. So we can heal. So let's see. We are here with the Tektites. Here's the desert. I think I have to go here. No, not here, but probably up here. This way. Okay. No, here is the desert, so it's slightly more to the right, if I recall correctly. Let's see. Here. Down here. Further down here, I think. And yes, this is, I think this is where I never went left. And yes, those stairs should lead us to level 2. To the entrance to level 2, of course. Because as we have seen before with level 1, most entrances to the dungeons, because there are some exceptions as we'll eventually see, are structures like this one. Oops, didn't want to activate the armor, so let's enter. And so we finally are in level 2. Let's go to the right first. Maybe it was better to go to the left. Let's defeat the ropes. Get the key. Could have got here regardless. Let's see what was to the left. Okay, there's of course I died. Too low on health. So this time let's go up. If I defeat these enemies, I should open the door. Or at most move a block, but not in this case. So we can see what's inside here. Another key, nice. Okay. Now we can continue to the right. Before opening the door, let's go up, I'd say. Okay, another locked door. Let's say it's better to keep it that way for now. So we know that we haven't seen those yet. I wish I got that clock before. Okay, we are here on top. Wouldn't even need to defeat these ropes, but luckily we found a heart by doing that. So let's continue to the top. Okay, we get these enemies. Forgetting their name now, to be completely honest. Here it's not clear, but I think they're supposed to be worms. Okay, it's quite fine. We got another key. Could barely see it, but it was a key. Then let's continue up. And then we'll start also going in these doors. Or maybe I should have gone in the doors first, I don't remember. Because I feel that we might be going towards the boss, but we can always go back in case, if that's the case. We get some bombs, which is suspicious to say the least. Yes, we get the boss, Dodongo. Let's take out our bombs, even though we aren't supposed to know, but... oops. I died, so... Actually, we can go to the boss when we are supposed to. As you can see here, we saw all these rooms. Let's go to the ones to the right now. And then back to the top when it's time to actually deal with the boss. Okay. Let's take out the boomerang for now. Definitely not using the arrows, since those cost money, as the old man told us last time. Okay, nice that we are getting more money, more rupees. I think we can already afford the blue candle. So we'll get that when we get back to the overworld. Let's enter here, and we get the compass, which will point, of course, to the top, as we have already seen. Okay. Let's continue up. And then always go to the right. We have already defeated all these enemies, so it doesn't matter. We get the map, and so we can see that it's a moon. And yes, it's usually known as, colloquially as the moon, this dungeon. Okay. And so yes, we have to visit all these rooms to the right, and then go to the top and to the left to get our Triforce, also pointed by the compass. Okay. Of course, they didn't have anything else. There was the map on the floor there. Could simply avoid dealing with those gorillas. It's honestly for the best. Let's avoid the rope. Okay, we get these gorillas and also statues that shoot at us. And of course, because of that combo and our low health, we die. But we can simply go back there. Oops, not that. Yes, it's that room. Okay. To the top. This is the one we want to go into. Yes, we can see the statues that shoot at us. And then the gorillas. We can stun them with the boomerangs. But of course they still get us. Let's try to defeat some enemies by using the boomerang. And maybe get some health before going against them. Of course, not this way. Or simply lose more health. Okay, at least we're almost back to the start. When it comes to that. Okay. these basic gorillas. Let's defeat them. Okay. Don't remember that happening when I last played, but most likely simply forgot that's a thing, even though I'm not sure how that happened exactly. Oh boy, barely avoided the rope thanks to... Yeah, we have even less health. It's not going well. Yeah, I know. It's better to ignore the enemies and get straight up here. The unfortunate aspect is that you start with 3 hearts, even though we have got more heart containers. Okay, now we have slightly more than before. Nice. Ooh, the clock. Perfect. So we can defeat these. Nice, we got everything. Let's ignore the ropes here. Those are more risky than beneficial, honestly. Let's defeat this gorilla. Nice. Give us health. Okay. Let's defeat this one. Please, please. All these. Okay. While I mostly avoid... let's keep it. Wanted to use a rewind, but honestly, in this case, we didn't need it, as we can get there back quickly. And we don't need to keep the rhythm we needed in Super Mario Bros. When we were studying Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2, when we studied Hiragana and Katakana, respectively. Here, even if we die, especially when it's such a small dungeon, we can simply go back to the start and then go back. That's also beneficial in the sense that we get some money and so on the way. Like some health, please. Nope. Of course not. So now it becomes... as you can see now that we have 100 rupees, say the hyaku in Japanese, the X symbol disappears and it gets replaced by the 100th. Okay, let's be careful. Yeah, getting the... Here, if we had the shield, it would be better, honestly, but the magic shield. But we don't have it. Okay, let's try to do it. Yeah, ropes, since they come at you at full speed, aren't as easy. Honestly, quite risky. And now we get the clock, of course. Regular gorillas are much safer, of course, unless they stick in group or there's one to the side. But luckily, this case managed to do it anyway. Oops. We defeated this one. We have one less heart. Let's see. I think I have to deal with the ropes. Nope. little health. I'm definitely dying here, but... yeah, as expected. But let's try again. If needed, I will use a rewind, but luckily here it's so quick to go back there that honestly it's not needed. Okay. Let's defeat some enemies here. Fortunately, one got us from the bottom. I'm tempted to ignore these ropes. Yeah, exactly for this reason. Fortunately, nobody seems to be dropping hearts. Let's see if we can do it. As usual, the worst part are the projectiles. As in, not even the boomerangs, but the statues. Yeah, the good thing is that we'll definitely be able to afford the candle and also be on our way to get the shield. Both quite useful. As you can see also, the candle to finally burn trees slash bushes, while of course the shield to avoid getting hit by projectiles like those. Okay, now this one is relatively easy, so let's do it, as long as of course they don't stick together like that. Okay. This time I'm ignoring the ropes. Okay. Back here. Oh boy. Surrounding us. And they got us. Let's try again. Of course, if it continues like this, I might use a rewind, but let's try not to first. Honestly, it's only that room which is particularly difficult without the shield, as we have seen. Everything else is relatively easy. Okay, now we have more health. Nice. We're dealing with the regular gorillas, so they're relatively easy. Okay. Of course, the other... okay, one more heart. Perfect. Let's ignore these ropes, too risky, apart from this one, which is on our way. Of course, a stronger sword would definitely help, but we didn't go for it for now. Okay. Okay. Nice, we got a heart at least. Let's defeat this one. Okay, and so we get the stronger boomerang. Let's check it as usual in our item list. Let's see. Eccoli. Here it is. Magical boomerang. And it's the same in Japanese. Magical boomerang. While the other one was simply boomerang, as we can see here. Okay. can go back to the game. Let's leave this room and these deadly statues. Okay. Let's continue above. Let's go to the right here. We get some bombs, of course, because of the boss. As you might have noticed, they keep on giving you bombs here. Then, to the right here. Okay. And this is actually the way to go to the top, to that top room. By defeating everyone, get some 5 rupees. Nice. And so we meet this old man, who tells us that Dodongo wa Kemuri o Kirau. Dodongo is the name of the enemy. As you know, if you have ever played practically any Zelda game, as they're in quite a lot of them. Of course, with the topic particle wa, written as ha. As for Dodongo, Kemuri means smoke, or the topic particle, the object particle, and so as for Dodongo, the smokes, Kirau, it should be an accented. Let's see. Yes, it's an accented. And it means to hate, to dislike. And so, as for Dodongo, he dislikes smokes, he hates smoke. And that's our tip, that you have to use bombs and their smoke to defeat him. We see here the Kirau as a verb, but a transitive verb, and so with the topic with the object particle o. But more often than not, you see it as Kirai, which, despite the final E, but it's not the E of true adjective, because as we can see here, it actually comes from Kirau. Kirai means disliked, hated, and it's an adjective. So again, you at the end of a sentence you add the copula da, for example, in the plain speech like this one, des in the polite one. While if you want to say something that is disliked, that is hated, and so put it to modify a noun, put it before that noun, we have to add the na. So kirai na, for example, in this case, kirai na kemuri, the smoke that is disliked. We could say the smoke that is disliked, that Dodongo dislikes, Dodongo ga kirai na Kemuri, and of course then we'd have the rest of a sentence. Just wanted to mention it because you'll definitely see more the na adjective than the verb form kirau, even though you can use it same for, because this is the opposite of ski. Something that is liked. We technically have the verb, the corresponding verb suku, which also like kirau. In this case, suku, it's actually suku accented, and just like kirau is a transitive verb, and so with the object particle o. But yes, you more often than not see it as the na adjective ski. And it's seen in especially in the so-called wa-ga structure of a phrase, of a sentence, where wa is the person and so on that likes or dislikes something. Ga is what is liked or hated, and then ski or kirai or kirai. Just wanted to introduce, because while we can find it, as we have found it here, you'll definitely see those more than way more often. Okay, let's go. Now that we also got the tip, funnily enough, we'll go defeat Nice the fairy. We'll go defeat Dodongo. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, there's no... Maybe... Wait a moment. This could be a case, because sometimes you can bomb these walls to open certain openings, and this could be such a case. Let's switch to the bombs for a second. Also, we'll keep them for... Yes. You can go from here back to the room with the old man. Okay. Let's defeat these gorillas. Of course, doing so without stunning them with the boomerang is much riskier, but we did it. Okay, let's defeat Dodongo by using bombs, not way. By letting... Okay. Yep. Dodongo is defeated. Much easier than as long as, of course, you have the bombs, but the dungeon gives you a lot of them for this reason. But yes, much easier than Aquamentus, funnily enough, despite that being the boss of level 1. And so with that, we get our Triforce piece. And we're sent outside the dungeon. Let's defeat this doctor just so that doesn't... Okay, we get some bombs. Oops. This isn't what I wanted to do. Okay, since we have finished the dungeon, let's take a break here. And I'll be back in 5 minutes as usual. And I'm back. So let's continue. Legend of Zelda. Now that we are outside here, we of course go toward the next level. In this case, it's easier to get to, and I do remember where that is. But I did remember also this one, but not exactly. That one is much easier, as we'll see. But first, not this one, I think. No, we want to go on top there. I wanted to visit a certain shop. Oh boy, the piazza. Not here. I think it's the next screen to the left. Yes, I think that's it. Yes, this should be the shop, which had the candle, also the magic shield, but that can be found elsewhere for sure. And the candle is much more important because, as I said, it allows us to burn the trees slash bushes. Let's see its name, as usual. It's here. Blue candle, in Japanese, Rosoku Ao. Rosoku is the Japanese word for candle. I'll just check its accent. Let's see. Its accent is maybe an accent. Nope. It's accented on the second to last, so Rosoku. Rosoku. And yes, that's candle. And then we have Ao. Blue. Blue as in the noun, just like I said before for Aka. Red. So if we actually want, this would be candle blue, literally. If we wanted to actually say blue candle, as in putting the adjective before Rosoku, we have to turn it into an adjective. In this case, a true adjective by adding I. And so we would get Aoi Rosoku. Okay. We can go back. And yes, this can also be used to defeat enemies, but I can only use it once per screen. So you have to leave and come back to use it again. Okay. Now let's go toward level 3. As we are definitely tackling that one as well today. Not sure if we can do also another dungeon beyond that, but we'll see. Let's see. Ah, here's the old woman, and I think we can give her the famous letter. Yep. And she says, Kusuri o katte yukinasai. Kusuri is the Japanese word for medicine. Should be either an accented or accented on the last one. Let's see. Kusuri. And of course, since the U between K and K and S, because they are unvoiced consonants, can be barely heard, if not at all. Ksuri. And it's unaccented. Of course, then there's the object particle, so it's the object. Katte. Now we finally see the most common, the form, the te form of the verb kau, to buy, which is you drop the u and then add te. Since it's a u verb or a Godan verb, unfortunately those are more difficult to change into the te form, because they follow certain rules. For example, in this case, we have a verb that ends in u, kau, which becomes te, because the reason for that is that originally it wasn't u, but actually hu, pu, back in the day. Then it got changed to fu, and because of that p, f, it was actually kept in count when making the te form, and so it kind of it doubles the consonant of the following te, and so becomes katte. So yes, the rule in modern Japanese is simply that verbs ending in u, as actually u, not preceded by a consonant, become te. So the te form of katte, and in this case we use the te form to then add the verb iku, here in its alternative form yuku, to go. We change that then in I, because it's also a u verb godan. Godan, as in again, as we have learned last time, go, 5, dan, as in the vowels in the kana table, and so a, I, u, e, o. We change the vowel to I to have this form that also is used to attach certain endings. In this case, nasai. Nasai comes from nasaru. I'll check its accent. To do, accented, nasaru. To do as an honorific word for the do, because we have seen that the more common one that we usually use in Japanese is suru. And then, just like kudasaru, it's irregular, and so you drop the ru and add the I, and again we get another imperative polite form. It's a different one. This one is not as common as the kudasai, and also, as we have seen, in that case you have to use the te form of a verb to add kudasai. Here you change If it's a Godan verb, you change the vowel in E. If it's a Ru verb, like Miru, as we have seen at the start of this stream, a Ru verb or Ichidan, and so Ichidan as in the dance in the dan in the kana table. In that case, you simply drop the Ru. So, mi, nasai, please watch. In the writing we see here, please go. And you can often hear it, these nasai forms said by women, as we see in games, because even though not necessarily, but more often than not, that's the case. So yes, it's actually yet another imperative polite form. So please go. In this case, the sentence as a whole would be, please buy a medicine and go. Or also in another way, please go after buying the medicine. Please go while buying. Please buy the medicine and go. As you will see, there are these combinations of the form of a verb and the verbs to go and come. To go and come while doing or after doing a certain action, in this case, buying. So yes, she offers us these medicines. I don't remember which one we got last time. I think the red one. Do we also still have? Nope. Not sure what we got then. Yes, we saw I think I mentioned the red one already, simply because it was the old man had it as an alternative to the hard container. But luckily in this case it's not an alternative to an hard container, which of course you should take that. We are simply buying it, and I'd say we can take it. Yeah, let's take it, just to be, in case we need it, to avoid all the deaths, repeated deaths in dungeons. Okay. Even though, unfortunately, that means we won't buy the shield as soon as we could have, but hopefully it's for the best doing it this way. Yeah, we definitely need health. Okay, let's continue. Let's go towards the third dungeon. Funny enough, in this case dying would have been faster, because as you see in a moment, we are we're getting back to the start. And here we are. But this time we're going to the left. Okay. Yes, some hearts and also rupees. We can cross there's a river there that we can cross, so we actually go up. While we're here, let's check what this first shop had. It also, now it also has the candle, but we don't need it. We don't need keys for now. Hopefully never. We need the shield at some point, but of course we need much more money for that. And yes, as we have seen, this character actually uses a different form. That's because he uses a form seen in Kansai Ben, the Kansai dialect. Katte is the one you have to keep in mind for now, because it's the one you should use as the te form of kau, to buy. Yeah, in this case, it's kote because of a different evolution of the te form, because of what I explained before. Yes, you usually say katte. Nice, Fegri, always appreciated. Yeah, the magical shield will be useful against these Zoras. Let's see what's inside this cave. Again the old woman with the medicine. But we already have it. Okay. And I'm pretty sure. Yep. And here is level 3. Much easier than level 2 to find, honestly. And arguably even level 1. So yes, here's level 3. We get a key. Now we get regular sized Zols, which split in mini ones. Luckily the boomerang is useful to immediately defeat the smaller ones. Okay. Let's see. Like such rooms, there could be some bombable walls on the sides, but let's ignore it for now. Could be just a waste. Oh boy, and we get dark nuts. In this game, they always parry your attacks if you are facing them, like this. So you have to hit them by the side, not literally the side. You have to be facing in a different direction compared to them, in a different direction that isn't the opposite one compared to them. Easier said than done. Or maybe I should have gone to pick up the stronger sword, because enemies are getting tougher, especially if they're throwing us dark nuts. Okay. Yeah, they always try to face you because of that. Oh boy. Wanted to at least defeat them to see if they give anything. Bombs. Since it's giving us bombs, we can try to bomb this wall. Yep. Sometimes when they give you bombs, could be a hint towards that. I think it's simply a shortcut, so let's ignore it for now. Let's go here. Oh boy. I paused with select by mistake. Moments before disaster. Luckily, we were just at the start. Let's ignore the Zols this time. Of course, unless they get in our way like this. Oops, always pressing select. For some reason. Oh boy. Let's not get defeated by... And also reduce our health because of such enemies. Okay. This time, let's move toward... Okay. We get the compass, and so we have to go to the top right for the Triforce piece. We have some keys, and we can use one here. We actually do it. Oh boy. We have to defeat all these dark nuts. Actually, in this case, maybe the candle could be useful. Nope. Only sword and only... and with their peculiarity. No, not this one, we need the boomerang for the souls. Yeah, not sure we can tackle the dungeon. Also because, as I mentioned, I'm definitely not going beyond our usual stream time, considering I'm going to a convention tomorrow. So I'd rather explore the overworld, get the sword, the stronger sword maybe, for example, if we have time after this dungeon, because we definitely need that. Oh boy. Okay, let's get rid of at least this one. Oh boy. Okay. Let's tackle one at a time. In those hallways, it's not the best place to fight them. The one we heard went way to the left. Oh boy, we died, of course. Okay. Let's do it once more. Maybe by defeating these enemies we can get some items. Fortunately I doubt it because they don't seem to be dropping anything. Definitely not dealing with these dark nuts. Let's avoid the traps. We don't need to take hits by them. Okay, somehow it worked. Well, if we really can't deal with them, we can always use the medicine I bought. Oh boy. I'm getting stuck in these corridors with them. Not the best. Yeah, I got surrounded. I'd say we can use at least one medicine to avoid getting stuck here. Unless some enemies actually drop something this time, but again I doubt it. Nope. You can see now why. Yeah, no. I'm using my medicine, I think. If you keep on running, you can easily avoid those traps. But first, let's give it a try until we are at one heart left. Okay. Okay, this one is on his own. Oh boy, of course now another one is coming. Yeah, no, using the medicine this time. Don't care. Okay, now by using it once it becomes like this. That's why it costed less. So let's check it. Oops. And yes, while the one we have used is a second portion in English, but as we have seen before, it's Inochi no Mizu Aka. So literally, water of life, red. It then becomes life potion in English, but actually Inochi no Mizu Ao in Japanese, and so water of life, blue. Because Mizu is water, Inochi is life, with the possessive particle no, so water of life, and then its color, Ao, in this case, because we have used the Aka one. Again, if we want to actually say blue water of life, as in with the adjective, we would add the E to Ao to make the adjective, the E adjective, the true adjective, Aoi, and put it before. So, Aoi, Inochi no Mizu. Okay, let's go back to the game. Yeah, now that we have a full health, we can shoot the sword laser. Oh boy, as soon as I say it. But luckily, that means we can take way more hits and will definitely be able to defeat them this time. So, let's see. Sorry, Shogi. Hi, I've seen your message only now. If you're still watching, nice to meet you. If not, if you check the VOD, then oops, nope, this was a genuine mistake. So let's get back and not use our water of life, blue. Let's switch to the boomerang. I know, something like that, that's a genuine mistake. Sorry, but I'm definitely rewinding. Okay, we've defeated that one. Genuine mistake and not me just being bad at the game. But we should be... Oh boy. I'm about to die again. But, okay, this one dropped a heart. I mean, not die, but we were closer. We were back to square one. Oh boy, so many dark nuts, but I don't think we need to deal with them. Let's run for the stairs as soon as I can find a spot. Okay, now we can. And get what is technically the dungeon item. The raft. Let's see it in Japanese. Let's see. Okay. raft in English. In Japanese, ikada, which again means also raft. It's the Japanese word for. It's a Japanese word for raft. Unaccented, had to check it because honestly, it's not that common. So I've never heard it before. Okay. And yes, that's the raft which we need to access the next dungeon, as we'll see at this point next time. Oops. Let's go back to the game. Don't remember who the boss of... maybe I do remember who the boss of this dungeon is. Let's ignore the Dark Nuts. I don't think they have anything we really need, and so we're not wasting time against them. Okay, let's try to defeat these enemies. Usually you want to defeat all enemies just to be sure, but in that case there were the stairs. They were free. They weren't blocked by a block, and so, or hidden, or also hidden by a block. So yes, luckily, oops. Okay. Okay, so if we went above from that room, we would have been stuck, so good thing we went this way. By the way, I've seen that Shogi's name has also a kanji. It's the one for Tami, mean. Sorry. Yeah, as well as I just checking if everything is fine. Luckily it is. As I was saying, the kanji is read Tami, or also Min, and it's the one for people, as in citizens. Okay, we can continue. Let's check the map. Okay, if we go below, we go back to a previous room, which is this one. Okay. We could technically avoid using the key, but the key to the right, since we unlocked the shortcut, but we'll unlock it anyway. But first, let's go here, because this shouldn't take us to the Triforce. So let's push the block to open the door. Okay. Yeah, this old man says to us, Taki no ue no ji-san ni ken o moratta kai. Taki means waterfall. Let's check the accent, but I think it's accented on the last one. Let's see. Nope, unaccented. not that it mattered with the no following no, since that's an exception. That would have changed also word accented on the last one would be the same as an unaccented word. Taki, waterfall, with no, the possessive particle. Ue, no. Ue, which we have seen with the when we studied the kanji at the start. Above, and then again another possessive particle. So, above the waterfall, the top, or even better, to keep it closer to the Japanese structure, the top of the waterfall. Ji-san, as I mentioned before, in this case without the prefix o, but it's still old man, also grandfather, but in this case old man, generic. Ni, to, as in to someone, and so to the old man at literally off the top of the waterfall. Wait a moment. In this particular case, usually ni means to as give something to someone, but with the verb we are seeing here, it becomes from, or better by, so the one that gives us something. So from the old man at the top of the waterfall, at the top of the waterfall, ken, o, ken is the word for is the Japanese word for sword, or usual object particle. So the sword, just checking what the accent of can is, but yes, it's accented, and so because the second syllable is n, the second mora is more correct, the second bit, because there's that distinction in Japanese, but that's not minded for now. The accent can't stay, as in fall after the moraic n, the final n, and so if it were an accented word like it is, if it is an accented word like it is, the accent is on the ke, so ken. If it were unaccented, it would be ken. Okay. So, and then we have moratta. From morau should be unaccented. I check it to be sure, since it's also quite an important verb. It's the verb to receive. Morau unaccented, yes, I remember correctly. And just like it's another u verb, so to change it to the te form and also the ta form, because they use the same conjugation, it becomes, you drop the u and it becomes ta again, because of the reason I explained with the te form. And so we get moratta. The ta form is the past form of a verb, and so received with the can, and so with the rest of the sentence, you received the sword from the old man off the top of the waterfall, at the top of the waterfall. And then, last but not least, Kai, as we have seen before in the previous lesson, Kai is a sentence final particle that turns the sentence in yes or no question. And so, have you received the sword from the old man at the top of the waterfall? Yes or no? If we wanted a more general question without the specification yes or no, we would have added simply ha. And yes, he's asking us that because yeah, I really should have gotten that before tackling this dungeon, but oh well, we'll do so next time. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do so this time, since we just have the time to end the dungeon. But yes, I have to remember it. To be fair, it's relatively close to the next dungeon. At least closer than this one for sure. Oh boy, I'm about to die. Let's open this door and get the map, and so we can see the full shape of the dungeon. Yes, it resembles that symbol, that unfortunate symbol, but that's because it was copied from this one. This is typical of Eastern, not even East Asia, I think more like India and so on. Now I don't remember exactly the origin of the manji. It's called like that in Japanese, and that's how it's called. That's the colloquial name of this dungeon. Oops, I died. But luckily we have the shortcut. We'll make use of it. Manji, literally, ji as in character, the same found in Kanji. Kanji means Chinese character. Too many souls. And literally in that case, the character of man. Man, as we'll see, I'll already say it, it's also the word for 10,000. Because in okay. Let's try to survive. If I can survive this, then I'll consider using the other potion. Nope. And honestly, the potion is better kept for... I'd rather keep it for the boss if needed to actually end it. Okay, let's see. Now, what's left are those 3 rooms after. So actually, a room before the boss, and then the Triforce piece. So yes, let's try to avoid using it for those dark nuts. Of course, if I avoid getting damaged by such simple enemies as those, would be better. Let's ignore these ones and deal with these ones. Yeah, not having the the sword beams, or at the very least the stronger sword hurts. Oh boy. They surrounded me there. Oh boy. That was close. Okay. Okay. Let's avoid getting surrounded. Okay, one is down. Let's now try to get rid of another one. Slowly but surely. Okay. Okay. Barely avoided the dark nut. Okay. Okay, this one should be going down. Not sure if one hit or two hits. Okay, one for this one, and a clock, luckily. Can get rid of that one easily. Of course, yet another locked door, but this time the enemies are much easier. Just be careful about the anti-fairies. Not sure if that's the names also in this game. Maybe these are just bubbles. Don't remember. Okay. We get some rupees. Let's avoid the enemies. And finally we get to the boss. Mananda. Yeah, I'm definitely using the medicine this time. Not dying to the boss. Not now. We get back the letter so we can buy more medicine if we want to. Let's take out the bombs, because I think, yes, you can use them to defeat their effective. And yes, that was perfect. Yeah, I think if I hadn't used the medicine, I would have died, because yeah, those 3 hearts. I think I had 3 hearts or lower, so we get another heart container. We get our Triforce piece. Okay, since now it should send us out here. So, oops, I want to use the bomb. Yet another mistake, genuine mistake, so I'm rewinding, honestly. Not that it's particularly needed, but okay. Since we have finished the dungeon, I'd say we can stop it here. Not intentionally dying to enemies, because I'd rather keep our current life, not full because of that tide, but oh well. So I'm saving this way instead. Okay. Let's, oops, wanted to go back here first. Then close it. This time I actually close it. And so yes, we have seen, done level 2 and 3. We have seen again other sentences, items, and so on in Japanese, explained, translated them, explained the grammar. And next time we'll continue with the game. Next time, so will be not Friday, because again I'll be at a convention. I'll also not, as I mentioned in the post, I'm also skipping the Sunday stream because of a birthday party. So we'll be back on Monday in general, and so with more The Legend of Zelda. Okay, see you next time.